He's going to tell you a little bit of a story about his education and this very building, and then he's going to do the recitations. So put your hands together. Ciarán Wilde.
Thanks, Elaine. There's a few. I came to this college when I was 12. I used to come in here every Saturday morning for band rehearsal, and I absolutely hated it. I used to go down, and then I used to busk on Grafton Street, and and then Elaine's room was where I had my clarinet lessons, and I hated most of them. I had a great teacher, but the strange thing was, just as when people were talking, I was just thinking of Elaine. I mean, Carl Jung said intellectualism is the fear of direct contact, And as a musician and a jazz musician, a classical musician, and in the arts, I've come across a lot of intellectualism, but Elaine breaks down all those boundaries, I'm 24 years teaching out in Ballymun this year on an outreach program, so part of my work is I teach, and I love playing, I love practising on my own band and a jazz band. I love jazz, I love classical, I love all sorts of music. But one of the things when I started in Ballymun, I remember there was I go in different schools, but there's one specific school. There's an elderly teacher, it's a guy from Kerry, and his class were it was junior infants, senior infants, and it was the quietest class in the school. And I became friends with him, and I said, how come your class is so quiet? He says in Ballymun, he says, in these communities, he says, these kids are all told what they can't do. You can't do this, you can't do that. He says, I do the opposite. He says, I praise the kids, I tell them that they can do. And one of the things I noticed that when I collaborated with Elaine on a project out there, all the kids really warmed to her, because there was a huge identification with what the kids can do. And Elaine has the gift of seeing what they can do. And the reason she can see it is because she's done it herself. And she's a huge gift, a gift of lyrics. I mean, I'd mentioned a Charles Mingus record, and the next week she'd be ringing, I love this, or have Lester Young playing saxophone with Billie Holiday. And she said, he invented his own language, so she absorbs stuff like a sponge. And this isn't a self-appreciation society, She's in an art form which is tough. It's tough being a musician, it's tough being an artist. And she's not just a survivor. When Elaine asks you to do anything, she said, would you mind? I said, this is going to be good, because it makes you think, and everything she does is good. If she was crap, I wouldn't be here. I'd be doing a wedding gig, So I just finished with, as regards this building. I used to come in here, and then I'd go busking, and the first band I played with was, they were a lot older than me. There was the Jenkinson brothers from Ballyfermot, and they were known as the Burglars, And I said to a friend of mine, I said, how did they get the name the Burglars? He says, Johnny sold me a bike up in Inchicore, and he said, bring your bolt cutters with you. He sold it to me for 20 quid. So I'm going to read this, and thank you, Elaine. It's a pleasure being part of this. Epi-Phoney. I woke upon a queer thought, pursed by a notion of further thinking. An army of anxiety runs riot in a single eye's blinking. Tried to combat a defeated acid reflux up on my gut with a new crease in my brow. Psychic predisposition to positivity, my physical deceit won't allow. Eat humble pie for breakfast from the floor, the sense of surrender I succumb to is sore. In more modern way, in more ways than one, I just soldier on. It's familiar, feels homely. I do it for fun. I do it for fun. I do it for fun. One step, two step, face down in the grey, head in the clouds, fix feet fast to the clay. Seek answers in my eyes, they will not speak. Love's just a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. Love's just a faucet, my heart sprung a leak. I retreat from my prison, I'm in the present minute. Excreting excess wisdom, essential essence within it. Psychological antibiotic, re-inhabiting antigens and good microorganisms at the same time. Futile truth denial, escape route style. Melodramatic, antipsychotic, corrupting frame of mind. Exhibiting carcinogens, biological. Self-destructively inclined. Self-destructively inclined. Self-destructively inclined.
Thank you very much, Ciarán Wilde. Fabulous.